Suicide, the 9 warning signs. In recent times, suicide has been described as an epidemic, with tragedies now being associated with military personnel as well as with the current financial crisis. It is clear that more extensive management, training, and treatment of suicidal clients is necessary. Suicide is now the most common clinical emergency faced by therapists, yet it is shocking to learn that many have no formal training whatsoever. What is going on in the mind of the person in the hours or days leading up to his or her suicide attempt often sounds something like this. If you don't matter, does anything matter? What matters? Nothing matters. Why are you bothering to wake up? Waking up in the morning is so agonizing. Why bother doing it at all? Finish it. Just end it once and for all. These harsh words and phrases provide a window into the mind and thoughts of inner voices that drive someone to self-destructive behavior. We can all learn something from people who attempt suicide but survive. We can identify specific behaviors that the person is engaging in that are self-destructive, behaviors that we know from research and dictated by their critical inner voice. In an attempt to increase suicide awareness, I've highlighted examples and warning signs that accompany the inner voice of the victim. Here are 9 warning signs that someone is suicidal. Before we get to any of that, please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified every single time we post a new video, since that's by far the best way to support the channel. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to it. Number 1. Insomnia and disrupted sleep. People that commit suicide have often not slept for weeks on end. Number 2. Isolation. The person will crave being alone and will push away friends and family. If someone is pulling away from you, it is not a sign of personal rejection. Instead, look for evidence that he or she is pulling away from all his or her connections. She may be thinking along the lines of, "Be alone. You're really bad company anyways. Who'd want to be with someone miserable like you?" Number 3. Loss of interest. If a person is giving up activities that used to be important or matter to him, activities that used to determine his identity, he may be thinking, "What's the use? The grades you make don't matter now, so why bother making an effort? Nothing matters anyways." Number 4. Lack of pleasure and extreme self-denial. People at risk of suicide find it increasingly difficult to gain pleasure from life and activities. When they feel like nothing is worthwhile and they feel like giving up on themselves, they will also start to give up on other things. You don't have the experience necessary to apply for the job. You won't make new friends as you're too shy. Why bother going in this trip? It'll just be a load of hassle. Number 5. Extreme self-hatred. When a person is self-destructive and involved in a downward spiral, their thoughts will become self-hating, creating agitation and psychological pain. Their inner voice will start to make attacks. "You creep! You idiot! You are so worthless!" Number 6. Not belonging. The person may feel as though she doesn't fit in, and may express thoughts and feelings that no one cares about her. These thoughts are a distorted representation of the truth, or may be completely unfounded. As described by one woman, she believed that her friends and family no longer cared, that no one could understand her experience, and she was different from everyone around her. "Why couldn't my own friends and family love me? I'm just not like them. There's no way they would understand." Number 7. A burden to others. The suicide victim perceives the world in a different way to others, with a negative filter. For example, a young woman with bipolar disorder, which is associated with a higher risk of suicide, described what it felt like to be a burden on her family and friends. "What's wrong with you? Look at how much grief and trouble you're causing your friends and family. Why don't you do them a favor and stop bothering them?" Number 8. Positive mood change. In the hours or days leading up to a suicide attempt, when the person has already made a decision to end his or her life, he or she may feel relaxed, happier, and calmer. The reason for this is the person is no longer in turmoil. Suicide at this very moment is the perfect solution. As one survivor recalls, I stepped into my truck, elated and happy, as I knew I was going to finally end the pain. I was finally going to end the suffering and pain. I was going to drive to the bridge, and I was going to jump. Often, people close to the victim will become less worried about them. It is therefore very important to notice these shifts in mood and not to become fooled by them. Number 9. Suicidal talk. When friends and family show concern, the individual may deny that she is in distress. She is ambivalent about wanting to be stopped. If she makes statements about suicide or alludes to it, take the statements seriously. It is far better to overreact to a situation than to ignore it and lose the person to suicide. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified every single time we post a new video, since that's by far the best way to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.